First of all, I want to thank everybody for logging in today, doing our PLA kickoff session. We are really excited to meet with each and every one of you and to give you guys a chance to kind of understand what you have starting to embark upon, which is your Bachelor's of Science in Organizational Leadership and Learning from the University of Louisville, a Tier 1 R1 research institution, and we all love it here. We think it's the greatest. We know it's the greatest experience, and we're going to do everything we can to make sure that your experience is the best experience that you possibly can have while you're here. So I'd like to introduce myself. I am Dr. C. Sean Owens. I am the program director, co-director for the Bachelor of Science in Organizational Leadership program that you guys have all signed up for. I'm not going to be the only one speaking. This will probably be one of the few times you do hear me speak in this session. I would like to introduce the colleagues that you will be learning from throughout your time while you're here, as well as especially in your next course, LEAD 300. So with that being said, I'll let Dr. Bergman introduce himself.
Hi, everybody. My name is Dr. Matt Bergman, and I've been in the program about 15 years, and we're really excited that you're joining us. And I'll introduce myself a little bit more as I get into our presentation. I'll turn it over to Liz.
Hey, everybody. I'm Elizabeth Krauss. I've been with the OLL program for a little over 13 years. I teach several courses in the program, including both LEAD 300 and 307.
Hello, I'm Tony Elders. I'm an instructor for OLL 300. And a graduate of the program.
Hello, I'm Roger Buskill. The first course I taught in our program was 1999, so I'm dating myself for sure. But I'll tell you a little more about myself as we go through the program.
Hey everybody, I'm Janet Holiday. 2 years ago, after 30 years, I teach LEAD 300, LEAD 490, and basic and intermediate composition over in the English department.
I'm Brittany. I graduated from the program last May, and I'll do a little bit more of an introduction in a little bit.
All right, thanks for coming. I'm Tara McKinley. I am the Healthcare Leadership Program Director. You won't hear from me later tonight, but thank you for coming, especially to my HCL students.
Good evening. I'm Lisa Pontoa. I graduated in December 2020, and I have enjoyed the education that's provided me, and I'll be speaking to you later on.
And unfortunately, Dr. Whetstone cannot join us this evening. He is the assistant or the other co-program director. He had a family emergency, and so our thoughts and prayers are with him. But other than that, I will turn it over to my colleague. He is my go-to, Dr. Matt Bergman. Dr. Bergman, the floor and the show is yours.
All right, so my name is Dr. Matt Bergman. Thank you so much for coming this evening. I want to just send out a special note of appreciation simply because we know how much you're dealing with. So whether it's kids in the car, kids running up in the background, you being at work, trying to manage shift duties, we know that you are managing a lot in your lives, and you've basically made a decision to commit to finishing your degree, and we are fully here to make sure that we make this the most efficient path to graduation. And what this session is all about is truly about trying to make sure that we acknowledge and value everything you've done within your work life that is both college level and credit worthy to get you additional credits towards your degree that you will not have to take additional classes. So we do that in a 3 credit hour class that you're going to do, and you can earn up to 48 college credit hours. Now, as far as the national trends and how it applies to you, these 48 hours are very unique to the vast majority of colleges across the country. We give more credit than just about anybody across the country, specifically because we have been doing this for roughly 46 years as a program. And we've been truly committed to working with adults with some college no degree. We started as a technical-based program in career and technical education and moved into workforce development, and now we are really focused on broad-based leadership concepts that will directly connect with what you do on a daily basis. And we do that in a range of courses that are project-based, and then also on the front end of this is we're going to do something called prior learning assessment. Now, this is also called credit for prior learning, and many, many institutions are doing this. But like I said, we're doing it for more credits than most. So about 60 to 70% of institutions offer some form of prior learning assessment credit. So if I had you in a class, I would ask you to raise your hand and say, have you ever heard of CLEP exams or AP tests for traditional age students or high school kids? Basically, traditional AP testing is very similar to what we're doing here for prior learning assessment. And basically what we do with this is look at your college level and creditworthy learning from an adult perspective rather than taking these AP type classes and testing out of them. And we're going to do that in a very structured orientation of looking at your evolution into your own career field and what you've done leading up to today. So what we found from a national study that 70 plus institutions participated in what we participated as well at the University of Louisville, that 4 reasons that colleges and universities offer PLA. Number 1, students who use PLA graduate faster. So in other words, they are getting to graduation faster as a result of being acknowledged and valued for that learning. Number 2, students with access to PLA are more likely to graduate. So graduation rate and percentage of graduation actually goes up directly as a result of your acknowledgement and value that we provide from your work life. Next, the students are more engaged and ready for academics. So what we want to do is engage you in a process of building a portfolio that will then prepare you to do additional academic writing as you go forward. Last but not least, students expand the boundaries of current knowledge and explore practical applications of that knowledge through excellence in scholarship and creative endeavors. AKA, we give you context from your learning and create pathways for that knowledge to become additional college credit. So we are committed to this idea that what you've done within your work life should count, and it should provide a faster path to graduation for you. So at this point, I'll go ahead and turn it over and we'll get into the nuts and bolts of how this is going to happen in your individual course.
Thank you, Matt. The majority of your time in LEAD 300 and LEAD 307 will be spent compiling your PLA documents or your PLAD. This is your request for 9 to 48 hours of work specialization credit based on learning from occupational training and or experiences. Before we start working on the PLAD, we will carefully review your education plan. This document is provided to you by your advisor, and it lists how many hours you will need to earn through the PLAD in order to reach U of L's graduation requirements. So it's important we begin by reviewing that document. After that, you'll start writing your KSA inventory and life learning narrative. In this assignment, you will explore your work history to detail how you developed your work specialization or your area of expertise. After that, we will review your work training and your work experience history to start finding potential sources of college credit. Your PLAD will contain supporting documentations for all of those things. When it comes to PLA, the important thing to remember is that it's not necessarily important what you've done, but what you've learned from what you've done. So to start now, in order to get ready for LEAD 300 and LEAD 307, you can start to gather your education plan from your advisor. You can get your unofficial transcripts and your student transfer evaluation from ULink. And if you have any military experience, you can get a copy of your JST or your CCAF transcript. You can also start to think about some of the positions you've held in your career, as well as training courses that you've completed. Your instructor will work with you to ensure that your PLAD is complete and ready to be evaluated. So he or she might ask for more details or for additional documentation along the way. You have probably learned several styles of formatting papers throughout your education and your work life. APA, which stands for the American Psychological Association, is most commonly used in the social sciences. So it's used throughout the College of Education and Human Development. It's important to know that we don't expect you to be an expert with using APA style right now. Your instructor will direct you to resources that can help, including templates, and will give you feedback along the way so that you can improve. APA style helps with both uniformity and consistency in your writing, and it ensures that your sources are properly cited. You'll be writing quite a bit in our program, so APA style can benefit you both in our program and even on the job.
Thank you, Elizabeth. There was a question in the chat about what is APA, and that's simply a style of college writing. There's a number of those styles, and the College of Education has adopted APA as a style of writing. So yeah, I am Roger Buskill. Like I mentioned before, I've been around here a while. I've been full-time faculty for, golly, I'm not sure how long now, a long time anyway. I've taught most of the classes over the years, concentrate now in, of course, our PLA class, the 300. And then I also teach our exit class, 540, where you do a field work project, an internship, if you will. And then I also teach project management and a course called Instructional Strategies, more or less how to develop online learning. So that's what keeps me busy. So anyway, this is a screenshot of my particular Blackboard site. Many of you have probably logged into Blackboard, so this should be somewhat familiar to you. I know I've looked just recently, and about half my class has, so that's great. But this is the first screen that comes up when you log into Blackboard is the announcements. And one thing about the announcements is most of the time your instructors will duplicate this announcement as an email. So many of you that you have your email on your phone, it'll pop right up, and then you have the option of maybe taking a look at it right then if it's something important, or as a reminder to go to your computer and check it out. But this is all the Blackboards are laid out very similar. There will be a left pane here. Most of them are close to what this one looks like. Some type of assignments and due dates, the lesson materials. I have my Folio Tech and Hat and Plaid as a menu item, but it's also included in the assignments also. And most of our faculty have some type of extra communication. I happen to use Microsoft Teams, and then you will participate in a blog this semester. So if I clicked lesson materials here, I would come up to a list of all the lessons, and I think there's 12 of them. So depending upon the length of course you are taking, whether it's 8-week, 10-week in the summer, or my particular course is a 16-week, they're going to be, you might have more than one lesson in a particular week. So if I clicked in the introduction lesson 1, this is what's going to pop up. So all of these are laid out the exact same way. All of the lessons have a lesson overview, gives you briefly of what you're going to be doing in that lesson, the lesson objectives themselves, and then the assigned readings. In this case, it's our textbook. And then in this case, chapters 1. Now that's a pretty easy read. This is a fairly short book, but it has everything that we do in PLA is based on this book actually. And then you're going to have an introduction. This happens to be a PowerPoint that you can download. If you look at it that way, you want to make sure that you view it in notes pages, because I want to move on. You can also view most of these as a video. Well, the text in the audio in the voiceover of the video is exactly what the text is in the PowerPoint. So it kind of depends on your learning style, whether you want to view it as a video or whether you want to view it as text with graphics. Quite a few of the lessons have some type of a discussion board. Most of the lessons are going to have some type of assignment. If it's in blue, that is an assignment. It's a graded assignment. So in this case, if you click that, well, first of all, you would download the file, which is actually the form that you fill out for the scavenger hunt, and then you upload it back to the assignment. And then, so these are the two assignments that are in the first lesson. But like I say, all of the lesson formats are laid out pretty close to the same way. The key thing is your assignments are in blue. And with that, I will let Elizabeth take back over and explain a little bit different format for 307.
Thank you, Roger. Lead 307 has some important differences from Lead 300. So if you're enrolled in Lead 300, you have my permission to tune out for about the next 2 minutes, but don't go super far because there's more for you in a minute. Lead 307 has some significant differences because it's part of our competency-based education program in the Healthcare Leadership Program. Your Hallmark Assessment Task, or HAT, is your PLAD, your Prior Learning Assessment Documents for Lead 307. And just like Roger mentioned, your instructor will work with you to make sure that PLAD is complete. All of your course materials for Lead 307 can be found in Strut. You can access Strut directly or through the Healthcare Leadership Organization in Blackboard. You should know that Strut most likely will not be available to you until the first day of the semester. So next Monday, you'll be able to access Strut, even though our Blackboard course is up and running now. The course in Strut is arranged sequentially. So the first thing you'll do is start with Section 1, which is labeled Start Here. Section 1 allows you to review the syllabus and then take a knowledge check about that syllabus. You will not become, or the rest of the course will not become available to you until you pass that knowledge check about the syllabus. Section 2 in Strut provides you a link to an interactive discussion thread with me. You must check in with me, your instructor, at least weekly when you're enrolled in Lead 307, although it's totally okay to check in with me more frequently than that. All of the course materials related to your PLAD are also found in Blackboard. So if you're enrolled in Lead 307, you will have two different systems, Strut as well as Blackboard. I've got a screen capture here of our menu for our Blackboard course. You'll see that you have all of the documents needed to prepare your PLAD, as well as a link to the submission portal to submit your PLAD. After you complete your PLAD here in Blackboard, you'll then return back to Strut to submit your final assignment.
Thank you, Elizabeth. I'm Tammy Albers. I'm an instructor and an alum of U of L. This picture was taken when I was graduating from the program that you are now enrolled in. I returned to get my degree as a working adult and completely understand the multiple hats you wear and the responsibilities that you will have to maintain while you are pursuing your degree. I wanted to give you 3 things that will help you be successful that I used in the program. Number 1, establish your support system. This can be your parents, a partner, your children, friends, co-workers, all of the people in your life that cheer you on and want the best for you. There will be times when you can't do the things you want because there are only 24 hours in a day. So you're going to need to find somebody to take your child to practice, do your grocery shopping, whatever you need. My husband took over laundry the entire time I was in school. That's why I got a master's degree. I kept him doing it. Then second, get to know your classmates. You will most likely be taking classes with the same people over the next few semesters. Exchange email addresses or phone numbers. Having someone you can call or text to run an assignment by is a wonderful resource. Use it. And third, communicate, communicate, and communicate. This is an adult-friendly program and your professors are here to support you as well, but we can't do that if you don't communicate with us. If an emergency comes up, because we all know life happens, and you're not going to get an assignment turned in on time, let your professor know. If you don't understand the content, let your professor know. We all know there are many different types of learning styles, and we try to include as many as possible in our lessons, but sometimes it takes a phone call to fully understand something. That's what we're here for. We're here to be your cheerleaders and support you, so give us the opportunity.
Thanks, Tammy. Before I speak specifically to the military students, I just want to tell everyone that we don't want people to fail this class. We have a vested interest in getting you all of the credit that you deserve. So that communication thing that Tammy talked about is really important. If you're falling behind, if you're having trouble figuring out what's going on, just let us know and we will help you get through it. So I'm going to speak specifically for a minute to the military students, veterans, or those who are currently serving. If you don't have military experience, you can tune out for just a minute. So if you are or were Army, Navy, Marine Corps, or Coast Guard, then you need to get your joint services transcript. You can go to your advisor and they can help you with it. If you're still active duty, you can go to the Ed Center, you can Google it and get it online. It's pretty easy to do. And then also get a copy of the that we talked about earlier from ULink. Now, if you're in the Air Force, because they always do things differently than everyone else, you have to get your transcript from the Community College of the Air Force. Get that for yourself, and then also get a copy of your STEE. Now, on top of that, get documentation for any additional military training that didn't translate into ACE-approved credits. Those could be some different things like Master Fitness or something like that you didn't actually get college credit for. You're going to have to be able to document the length of the training, the number of hours, and the level of the training. So just go ahead and start collecting that now, because that can take a little bit of time. And if you're in an 8-week class, it goes pretty quick. So this is just kind of a general rule. If you served in a lower level position, say E1 to E5, say you served for 4 years, that's likely going to earn you occupational experience credits at the lower level, at the rate of 2 credit hours for 1 year of work experience. Okay, you can get up to a maximum of 48 credit hours for that. Now, if you served in a higher level position, say E6 through E9, it's most likely going to earn you occupational experience credits at the upper level, and that's 4 credit hours for 1 year of work experience for a maximum of 18 credit hours. Do not worry, you do not have to remember that at this point in time. We'll go back through all of that when it comes time for you to write your essays and ask for your actual occupational experience. This isn't absolute. It's going to depend more on the position and the responsibilities and the number of people you supervised than it does the rank.
Thank you, Colonel. Good evening, everyone. I want to thank Susan Hildebrand for giving me the opportunity to speak tonight on tips from an alum. I have not had the chance to be a student with all of these instructors, but the ones I have had given me the tools and inspired me to be the best. And they were very supported and guided me all the way through the program. I will be giving 3 tips tonight. My first tip is the tools of education, that of the organizational leadership program that provides me the direction in developing who I am, and that is inspiring others. The most valuable source of guidance is through communication and your behavior toward others. Second, find the good in people you encounter, and this positive outcome will show compassion and prove valuable one day. Lastly, pick up the torch with the knowledge provided from this program will serve as your mantle for change with integrity and confidence in leadership. But I want you to understand the faculty are wonderful. I love the faculty that helped me through, Dr. Matt Bergman and Elizabeth Krauss and many others. They're champions, and I thank them. And they have helped me to get through. And I am there for you. I am part of the new program and will support you. I am an alumna of the Cardinal Ambassador. So I thank you all for sharing your time with me.
All right, hey everyone, I'm Brittany Geisenberg. I think I said earlier I graduated in May of last year from the program, and I'm also serving as an ambassador this year. I am from Louisville, Kentucky, but I haven't lived there since I was a baby. So I'm currently in Seattle, and I lead a learning content development program for a software company. So I wanted to give you just a few kind of practical tips. If I could just share personally for a minute, if you are kind of looking at this syllabus and starting to get a little bit worried about getting it all done, I was there. I had a wonderful instructor for 300, Miss Albers, and I am one of those who was ready to walk away, and she convinced me to stay, and I'm so thankful for that. And the credits that I earned changed not just my graduation date, but this program changed the trajectory of my career. So it's completely worth it, and you've got it. So my first tip is to plan ahead and manage your time. I know that sounds kind of basic, and you're like, duh, it's college, but for real, take the syllabus seriously. Try to take notes during your reading if you can. There's a lot of verbiage that you're gonna pick up that's gonna help you when you're writing. So try to take that syllabus and the reading plan seriously. The next thing is to remember what you were passionate about. So I know for me it was kind of hard to get started writing about myself and what I'd learned. There were so many skills that I knew that I had, but I wasn't necessarily sure at first how to translate that. And so your book and especially your instructors are going to help you take that and turn it into your plaid. But think about what you loved in each of your roles. It's going to make it so much easier to then write about it if you're thinking about the things that you were passionate about. Third would be to ask your leaders. So I met with some of my old managers and supervisors and just kind of talked through my old roles, trying to jog my memory, asked for old job descriptions, things that would just help me pull together once I got to own it and I was doing all the research for the experiential learning. Number 4 is edit. Edit, edit, edit. The more that you go over it, more is going to come to your mind. You're going to see those mistakes. So definitely take the time to really edit your work as you go. And the number 5 is just stay calm. I promise it's better than you think. It sounds kind of funny, but this class can be intimidating. And when you are at the end, you're going to be reflecting on how much you've learned, not just in the class, but how much you've really learned over your career. It kind of brings that top of mind. And you're going to leave with a lot of confidence about the rest of the program. And this applies not just to PLA or Lead 300, but also, when you're done, just don't be the one to tell yourself no. Let other people tell you no, and you'll be surprised the opportunities you go for, what you might be able to achieve. So good luck in the program.
At this point, now is your time as our future Cardinal Nation representatives, right? Do you guys, I don't want to be gender biased, do all the attendees have any questions for any of us tonight?
Hello, my name is Siobhan, and I have a question. I get really a bad anxiety about how I'm going to get my experience onto paper. Like, if I don't remember it, how am I going to get to the 9 credits? So is there like something I can do to prepare for that?
So I'm going to jump in and respond and welcome other faculty to jump in and add to what I'm going to say. But we have a network called the Occupational Network. And the Occupational Network is a database. It's called ONET Online, and I think it's .org. And you can look up every occupation that exists in the world. Within those occupations, it talks about knowledge, skills, abilities, job duties, job level, education required, and it really outlines some common vernacular or language that you own and understand within your own experience. And that helps you navigate the process of extracting language that you can use to write about your own experience. So we're going to really help you and guide you through the process of developing those narratives and make sure that you get the most out of your own experiential learning. What we often hear in the beginning of the class is, oh, how in the heck am I going to get this credit? But by the end of the class, it is often, oh my gosh, you better give me credit for this. I'm brilliant. And, of course, it's not that confident, but people are so excited about what they've evaluated and thought about from their own experiential learning. And at the end, they're very pumped to say, yes, I have a lot of learning that I can translate into college credit.
Yeah, this is Roger. You're going to be building this as a part of your class assignments. Also, I think Elizabeth mentioned KSA, knowledge, skills, and abilities. You're going to, or an inventory worksheet, and so you're going to actually put this together, and you're going to try to remember the jobs that you've had, the skills that you've had on those jobs. But then you're going to write a work history in a type of resume, listing the jobs that you've had, and then you're going to write about them. Well, that starts the path of you looking on ONET to see what those jobs are, to match what you remember about the job with what that job is as far as the experts say. So it's that jogs your memory. So that's but then there's other ways that you're going to also write about the any training that you've had, and that would be from the job experience, or it could be even something like any certifications that you've got. So you prove that, and that's when we, using formulas, we will turn that into college credit.
And I also, this is Susan Hildebrand. I also think it's important, Brittany and Lisa, if you want to talk to Siobhan and add maybe your perspective, because Brittany, I think you were a little overwhelmed about having to go back and think about and draw upon all of your experiences. Brittany, did you have any feedback, or Lisa?
Well, with my experience, this is Lisa. My experience with it, it was rather interesting because when you sit and think about the past things you've done, you realize you've done a little bit more than you expected. Like I had a real estate license at one time, and then I tarred it and stuff like that. And so once you start writing it down in paper, you realize how much experience you do have. And it really, in my situation, it gave me an advantage where I was able to get some extra credit. And so that's why it's really good that we have these programs like that. You get to see how much knowledge you do have in life.
Yeah, I would add to that. I would say too, for me, it really didn't come together until the middle of the course. So if you're feeling that anxiety now, I was definitely in your shoes. And it took, kind of going through that reflection process and getting through learning the KSAs, getting into ONET, and then also having an amazing instructor. But it doesn't feel natural to write about it until a few weeks in. And once you get started, you'll be surprised how quickly it comes to you.
Another thing, this is Lisa again, I would like to add, when you have everything down in paper, these classes, like I said in my motto, there's a transformation that takes place. And by the time you get to the end of these classes, you end up being such a well-developed person. It makes you feel confident.
Hey, this is Elizabeth Krauss. I'm going to jump in because I've seen a couple of questions go by in the chat. I saw that someone asked if assignments are only available during the week that they are due. I don't want to speak for all of your instructors, but I think the majority of folks run their courses basically the same way that I do. Your assignments are generally available to you well in advance of when they're due, and I am totally okay with students working ahead. I just ask that you don't fall behind. Everything in the course is set up in a schedule in order to get you to have your plaid complete by the end of the course. Obviously, if something happens and you need extra time, definitely reach out to your instructor. But I am okay with you working ahead in the course because I totally understand that life sometimes gets in the way and some weeks aren't as busy as others and some weeks are crazy busy. So I am okay if you work ahead.
Shelley, you asked the question, will the writing in LEAD 300 determine what classes that we may CLEP? So CLEP exams are a very different thing than the prior learning assessment portfolio. The CLEP is a certified test in a content area that you can basically eliminate a general education class. So for example, math or social sciences, psychology, natural sciences, whereas PLA is designed to really go into your work-related history and give you credit that is broad-based and category-focused in elective credit. So those would be two different processes. And if you want to explore CLEP, we love that because there are ways to do it for free via Modern States. And you can get rid of general education classes if you have some expertise, or you're willing to really study for some of those general education classes if you don't already have your associates. And then the PLA process is going to give you really elective-based credit of up to 48 hours towards your overall 120 that's required. Okay, so I'm not going to freak out over folks working full-time and taking classes full-time, but basically your social life is over now. So if you have a social life, it ends. You have to really focus in on academics, and Netflix is put on the shelf completely. So just know that if you have roughly 4 classes you're taking this fall, think of it very similar to that of a class is going to take 3 to 5 hours a week to really focus in on specific course. And compartmentalizing that time is a really effective way of getting this done. However, if you haven't been to school for a good while and now you're working full-time and taking a full-time load as a student, that is a very challenging situation. So we want to support you in every way possible, but we also want to help you navigate this in a way that gets you there efficiently, but also doesn't make you lose your mind along the way. We want you to get the most out of the program and do your best along the way, and make sure that this learning will directly translate into your job role on a daily basis. We think the content that you cover, not necessarily in 300, but in every other class, is going to translate directly into what you do on a daily basis. Do we have any other questions from the group?
Yeah, sorry about that. I didn't have the mic on. I don't really have a question. I just wanted to thank you guys for putting this on. I know it's taking your time in the evening to kind of make us feel a little better about it. Certainly helped me out. I'm sure it helped everyone else out as well.
So I really appreciate the acknowledgement, and that's what we've noticed about all working adults, that you all appreciate us more than the vast majority of people, specifically the traditional age students. So we're happy to dedicate time to you all, and just know that we're with you. This is a solidarity movement, and what I mean by that is we are here start to finish as kind of peer guides in this. We know that you are experts in your own fields, and we like to think we're experts in our fields. But really, when it boils down to, we're just all adults trying to make it and do our best. And we know that this degree, it's a nationally recognized degree. It's one of the top adult-focused degrees in the country. We won awards over and over, and we've hired really expert faculty to focus in on that. You know, you can see we've got retired colonels, we've got experts from captains of industry. We've got people all over the fields of study. So we have individuals from education, we have individuals from military, corporate, and we're just going to cover you on all bases. We're really diverse in a lot of ways as far as the age of our faculty, as well as the ethnic diversity of our faculty. We want to make sure that we represent and we reflect the people that we serve in the program as well. So we have people that are CEOs, and we have people that are administrative staff. And the dialogue that happens in the class is just a magical place for you all to develop and grow as professionals. And we think that we can help you do that as long as you stay plugged in and utilize us, and make sure you ask lots of questions when you're feeling a little bit overwhelmed.
Yeah, I'd like to address Sarah's question about communication with professors. All of our professors, like Elizabeth mentioned, she has a weekly check-in that you must do, and I'm sure all the professors have something like that. But we're here for you. Like I say, I use Microsoft Teams. There's other communication mechanisms, even just through email, but don't wait till you get in trouble before you contact your professor. Contact them right away, whether it's through some type of a weekly check-in or through email, phone call. Please don't let your not understanding something prohibit you from moving on. So contact that instructor right away.
So at this point, we welcome anyone else to put their mic on, and feel free to just ask any other questions you may have.
So with adding our history, our work history, I'm in the banking world, and I'm going to go through some more licensing here in the next couple months. So there's not really a time limit on when we can add our additional experience, is there?
No, not at all. And what we try to say with that is we work smarter, not harder. So we try to extract from your expertise the most efficient path to the credits that you need. So not everybody in this group is going to get 48 hours. You know why? Because you have enough college credits, so there's no reason to request up to those 48 hours. So it's about your academic plan, knowing what you've done thus far, and using every college credit towards the degree, and then filling that gap with the portfolio of expertise in both training and then also experiential learning. So that said, if you don't get all the credits that you need to graduate from portfolio, you can do a one-time amendment towards the end of your program to account for those things that you've done beyond what you had leading up to this class or during the class. So if you continue to get the training that will give you additional credit and you need it, we'll do it.
Well, thank you a lot for that. I was kind of concerned because it's full-time learning, so I was like, oh, I hope I don't have to waste, not waste, but thank you for that. I was kind of worried.
I know we're getting close to wrapping up this season again, and I am part of this wonderful team. I'm an alumni of this program from many, many years ago when it was called Workforce Leadership. I absolutely love it. I am a huge supporter and advocate for higher education in this degree program. From it, I went immediately into graduate school and finished my master's as well. And I want to encourage all of you to hang tough, persist, take breaks when you need to, get some fresh air.
Yeah, so that said, I hope we've answered all of your questions, and obviously there's emails, and so you guys are awesome. I saw some comments. I hope we have eased some of your nerves heading into Lead 300. We're here as the program director. I'm here to assist you in any way I possibly can. So thank you all for coming tonight. You guys have a great evening.